Hello, and welcome back to another interrogation breakdown. Today's case is covering an auto burglary. This happened in November of 2017. This woman is suspected to have gone into the car of her ex-husband and stolen his phone.
Find the waiver portion of it, but I need you to verbally explain that you're willing to waive the rights to have a conversation with us.
I understand that I'm waiving my rights to have a conversation.
Okay, and again, Detective Autoburgular will be the witness to that. And the time is 3:43.
So his allegation for a cell phone.
Okay, so what we'll do is I'll explain to you what I have and why you're in custody, and what the purpose of the interview is. Understand that we're neutral in all circumstances or all incidents involving people, to include the victim and or alleged suspect that allegedly committed a crime.
The detectives say they're neutral, but they're not. Saying this will make the suspect feel more comfortable, since they don't feel like they're being judged.
What brought us here today and what brought you us in handcuffs was there was a video recording from a nearby jewelry store that shows you enter who is your ex-husband's vehicle through the, basically at first it shows you, and you have the same clothing on, same scarf, same dress. Go to the passenger side and you move around to the driver's side, and that's where you enter his vehicle. And then the cell phone is missing. So that in itself is pretty damaging evidence showing that you entered a vehicle that no longer belongs to you, and it is of your ex-spouse's.
They're saying they have video evidence, so the case is basically over, so she might as well confess.
What we basically need you to be is just honest with us, in the sense of where is the cell phone, so we could basically just recover the cell phone, get it back to him, without having to add more charges. His understanding that with the cell phone missing, there is a tampering with evidence charge that could be added to this auto burglary charge as well. Does that make any sense? Mm-hmm. We understand that you were there for, I believe, a child custody hearing. That cell phone was to be used in court for evidence against you for the like a restraining order violation. And we believe that's the reason why you chose to break into your ex's vehicle, to basically take that cell phone to delete any information or basically get rid of the cell phone so it could be used against you.
The detective even tells her what they think her motive is. This will make her try and defend her actions, which she does.
Okay, this is a brand new cell phone that he got like 2 weeks ago, and I record my phone conversations as well. He gave me a key to his vehicle to use as a spare key. And the only reason that I had checked the car was because he has over $200 worth of my child's that I bought because we're again separated. His uniforms, his shirts are $20 each and his pants are $20 each. He has a pair of my shoes and some clothing of mine.
She says he has her clothes and her kids' clothes. Later on, the officer will say she just mentioned her child's clothes. That's because they're not really listening to your story or your excuses, and they're just trying to get your confession.
He said that he's been carrying around in his car, and I have proof of that on my phone based on recorded phone call conversations as well. And since I left him, I mean, he beat me up, broke my nose, broke my arms, and since I left him, he's been trying to do things left and right. And so as far as the custody petition goes, I was there to file for full emergency custody because he was drinking and driving with the children, and he has fire guns, whatever, he threatens with his guns. The only reason that I went to check to see if the car was open was to see about the clothes. His phone is, there's nothing evidence, whatever he has, I have. Right now, I did hear him ask the commissioner if he could bring the cell phone in, and she said, "You guys," or the lady up front, she said, "You guys aren't seeing the commissioner, so you don't need that." And I mean, as far as that goes, he's been trying to make my life miserable left and right. And the only reason that I was there was just because of my children being involved in this drinking and driving stuff. And as far as me and him go, we've been at it for a while.
So you're saying he gave you a key to the...
He gave me 2 keys. He gave me 2 keys.
To the car?
Yes.
The vehicle?
Yes.
How long ago was that?
He gave me one about on October 1st? And then prior to that, he gave me one, it was September 2nd, where he had given me the spare key because he was drinking and I had to go pick up the kids and he couldn't take them to school. So he said, take my vehicle.
What date was that? I apologize.
I'm gonna say October 2nd. I have it all documented.
The first time? You said he gave you 2 keys and the first time was when?
It had to be September, maybe the 28th or something.
She says he gave her a key on October 1st and September 2nd. They question her again about the keys, and then she says it was October 2nd and September 28th. They ask the same question multiple times to catch suspects changing their story.
But that day, like him and his mom had been trying to call, like they called the cops for a diaper rash. And they called CYFD for a diaper rash, and that was cleared. And so at that time, he is a drunk. He's an alcoholic, and he said, here's the spare key, so if I get locked out or if you need to take the kids, you have a vehicle. Because at that time, my van was broken down and I had to get a new vehicle. And since then, like he has a new girlfriend. I don't know what's going on. And it's just been a mess.
So,
it's been a nightmare, really.
How long has this restraining order been in place with you guys?
And that too, I have 2 friends, he had contact me. He broke this, and I do have documented proof of this because I knew that he was going to try something like this. He had David Valdez call me and text me to meet him at a park.
So real fast, when was the restraining order set in place?
I believe it was June.
The restraining order started in June, but clearly they've been in contact in October and September.
I believe it was June. And he felt really bad for my my youngest, she's a year old, and he felt really bad for her her birthday. And so he tried to contact me through these 2 people, and finally he did call me.
So you guys got the restraining order in June, and then did he give you authorization today to go inside of his vehicle and use that key?
Today, no, we did not talk to each other. Okay. But he did say that my property is in his car, Nicole. He said, Miss Moralez, you can get it whenever you want, whenever you see me. That's what he told me.
At court today?
Not today. Talk at court today.
And you took that as I'm allowed to just enter the car because I have the key?
And he has my stuff.
Okay.
The detective asks her if her ex-husband gave her permission today to go into his car. She explains he didn't, but gives her reasoning. But the police don't care about your reasoning. It's just an excuse. You still did a crime.
Okay.
As far as...
So that officer, you said that they said he didn't need his cell phone because they weren't going to hear who again?
This is a brand new cell phone of his, so he doesn't, I don't know what he's talking about, evidence. It's a brand new cell phone.
Okay.
The lady up front who helps us, register and sign in, she said that, no, you don't need to bring it in, Mr. Garcia, because you 2 are not seeing the commissioner today. Anything that you have, bring it to your court hearing.
Okay. So I'm a little confused because the responding officer, or the one that assisted him, actually went and spoke to verify that they were going to allow him to bring the phone into the court, and they did tell our officers that the court wasn't going to allow them to bring it in after that break that you guys had.
After the break, maybe, but not before.
Okay.
And I had no idea.
Because initially they were there, and they said, well, no, since there's going to be a long break.
So we were seeing the commissioner?
Don't know. I never asked about no commissioner. Okay. We were just seeing if he was going to be authorized to take that phone inside of the district court. They were told he had to leave it outside. We were told that you were present when he was told that, and could bring it back.
The detective says he knows she heard that the phone would be in the car. Then she confirms this.
In that time frame. So our next question is the video is pretty clear. And you're not denying entering the car, you're just denying the reasoning for why you went into the vehicle.
And I have texts and documentation of that, and I had to record all our calls because he's very manipulative and he does stuff like this.
Okay, I just want to know where the cell phone's at. On the video, it does appear that you removed the cell phone from his vehicle. It's a very, very clear video. This detective watched it as well too. I don't think that we need to really dance around that question and try to take us in a different direction about the clothing. I want to know where the cell phone is.
I threw it next to my car, but that's not the reason why I took it.
Okay.
Because he keeps slandering me online.
Okay, so you did take the cell phone. Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you for clearing that up.
The
Okay.
detective repeats the knowledge of the video and says he basically doesn't believe her excuse about the clothes. He easily gets her to admit she took the cell phone and sent messages on it.
Where's your, so real fast, we do know that once the cell phone was taken, I apologize, a text message went through to Gilbert's new girlfriend. Mm-hmm. Okay, so you know what you sent.
Yeah.
I just want to know why you sent that message to her. What reasoning behind that?
What messages are because both of them keep on harassing me that they're going to take me to trial or whatever court for full custody. She doesn't even know me, and it really pisses me off about it. She thinks that I'm over here sleeping with him, and I'm trying to tell her that it's not me, it's all these other chicks. So I just screenshotted all that shit to her. Boom. I'm like, it's not me who's sleeping with him. It's not me who's, you know what I mean? And we've been going back and forth with that, and I'm done. I'm done being harassed, and maybe I did something a little bit, like I needed her to know, like I'm not freaking lying. Like I could care less about him. Like I left him back in January.
She says right now that she left him in January, but she'll say later they've only been separated for 5 months.
Where's your car parked at right now?
Right across your police station on Roma.
Okay, what kind of car is it?
It's a GMC Envoy.
What color is it?
Maroon.
What year is it?
Got some cameras in front of there too. So you say you threw it by your car?
Well, there's like a little box. Like if you go like up towards west, there's a street, and then I just walked that way to court, and I just threw it behind that little.
She tells him
box.
exactly what she did with the phone, basically making their job super easy.
What year is it?
I think it's a 2004. I just got it because my car was out of commission.
Okay, it's registered to you.
These questions about her car are all important if they were to need a search warrant. So basically she's just giving them all the information and they don't have to do any work.
So what he's going to try to do is verify that you threw that phone, because our next option would honestly be towing your vehicle off. Having it, well, first it would be sealed by a field investigator, towed off to the impound lot, and then we'd have to execute a search warrant on the vehicle in order to get his cell phone out of there.
I could show you where it's at because I put it under, like I kicked it underneath some weeds.
The detective tells her about the process of the search warrant on her car, and then she explains further how she kicked it into some reeds, even though before she said she put it behind a box. She'll go on even further to elaborate that it's a utility box because she really doesn't want them to take her car.
So we're definitely obviously going to have to find that, and you know, I know you guys go through a custody battle, and what I don't want to do is put you out of the vehicle, you know, just to get a search warrant. I don't have to get it right away. I have some time to get it, and I'm very backlogged right now, so it would be a week before I even got to it. So I do hope, I mean, I know we started off with a little bit of dishonesty, and I do want to tell you that I appreciate you coming clear with the fact that you did
At
take
this point, the detective thanks her for her honesty, making her feel like she's doing well and convincing her to speak more.
And I would hope that for whatever reason you are telling me the truth, that you threw it somewhere near your vehicle and
I can
placed
show
it
you
inside.
exactly where.
Okay, because we definitely, you know, do want to get the cell phone back.
I mean, you got video in that area that covers especially PTC and other areas.
I was
so.
gonna say I saw a video camera pointing in that direction.
So back to the cell phone. So why did you take it anyway? What was the reasoning behind it?
Well, one, to see what the hell, excuse my language, what the hell he's saying or doing.
The
behind my
detective asks for
back.
her motive behind stealing the phone, and she gives it away, saying she wanted to see what he was saying and she was pissed off. She literally is making the whole case. She's giving them motive and a confession.
To nominate me for full custody because he knows right now he has criminal charges pending. And he has a lot of animosity because I'm complying.
Okay.
And so when he was in there and I didn't see my crap in the car and $200 worth of my son's uniforms, I heard the phone ring. And I said, oh. And I did the codes and I unlocked it and I said, oh, well that little motherfucker, because he stole my kid. We have joint custody. He stole them the day before Thanksgiving. And so that really pissed me off. And he didn't let me see them. And I was able to take the sheriff's back because we don't have anything in custody to get two of the kids. But yeah, that was really why. Because I'm like, you know what, you're over here harassing me, your girlfriend's calling me, texting me, all this crap, and you never pay for anything. So I was just saying, you know what, I'm gonna see what he says about me. See what he told his attorney about me, because his attorney even said that his client's going against his advice, and I have that via email. And this just happened on Wednesday, right before Thanksgiving. So then he calls me on Sunday night, yesterday, like nothing happened. Like, oh, how are you? Someone wants his Xbox, I can bring it to you, blah, blah, blah. So I said, yeah, well, you can meet me at a substation. And then so it started again with the girlfriend and all this crap. And so I'm like, you know what, first of all, I have my own boyfriend. He has all these girls he's seeing. And so when the phone rang and I was looking to see what he had sent, what he said about me, and I said, you know what, I'm going to take this opportunity to screenshot her all the proof that it's not me, that he's fucking with other women. And so I sent her like 7 messages from 7 different women, and that's what I did.
So when you house and you heard them say he had to leave his phone out there, was that kind of the reason? Is that the reason why you went there to look for the cell phone, went to his vehicle?
No, the only reason that I went there is to get my, again, $200 worth of school uniforms. My son goes to St. Therese. Each shirt is $20. We have to buy them from Dennis Uniform. A pair of pants is $17.95. I'm a single mother of 4.
What made you think that he was going to have $200 in his vehicle?
No, I bought my son these clothes, so he was keeping these clothes. I've been asking them.
But what made you think they're going to be in the vehicle?
He told me. He said, Nicole, come and get them whenever you want. They're in my vehicle. They're in my car. I've been driving around with them.
And that was on text or through?
Through phone and through text, and I have copies of both of those.
Okay.
And that's the only one reason that I went in there because those are school uniforms, and that's a lot of freaking money for clothes. And I don't have that based on a single income. So I know he was going to try to keep them.
Then you said you heard the phone ring in there.
Yeah.
So you told us that while you guys were married to one another, that or with one another, that you knew he keeps a spare key on the vehicle in the event that he gets locked out or loses his key. He said he never gave you permission for that key, that, you know, obviously you have kids with him, you have prior knowledge of that he keeps a spare key on his vehicles, and that you actually stole that key. We're already being honest with one another. You're being very honest with me.
Be completely honest with you that no, he gave me 2 keys.
Okay.
One was when he was drunk and I had to pick up the kids, and the second time is on the 13th.
13th of what again?
October.
The detective then tries to get her to be honest about the keys, whether it was his spare or he gave her a key, and she then says she was given the key on October 13th. Now they have 3 different dates in October she supposedly got this key, and this will be easy to have a jury question her honesty, should it come to that.
Okay.
And we ended up
first.
You said the first initially, or you just a little confused on the dates, or?
Possibly, I don't have, I have everything documented. I might even have it in the folders that I had brought with me today.
Okay. So when he gave you the key, did he text it to you? Did he verbally tell you? Was there
He
any
was at
recording
home
saying
and
that
he
he gave it to you?
says, here you go, because at that time I didn't have a vehicle. My van had broken down and completely, like, I don't know what they call it, where it's just a dead vehicle. So at that point, he said, here's my key. I can't drive. Bring me alcohol, and you can use the car when
She
you need
admits
to
he gave
for
her a
the
key
kids.
to be used because she did not have a vehicle, and she needed it to drive the car for their kids.
And that was in October? And then you just got your new vehicle when?
Like 2 weeks ago. Like at the end of October.
Do you already have a license plate and stuff on it? It's already registered?
I got it like October 31st or October 30th is the date that I got my new vehicle.
Okay.
Also new used vehicle.
So when you went through the phone and you sent the message to his girlfriend, was it just screenshots or did you text
Yeah.
anything?
I'm sure I texted her like, look, it's not me. He just likes a bunch of bitches, is what I said.
Did you find any? Did you find anything in the text messaging?
I don't know. It's next to that box. There's a box. Like if you go on the corner, like there's my car where they drop off the people, you know? And then like you go up Roma and then you turn that way, like if you're gonna walk to the district. And there's like this utility box there.
The front side of district or the back side of district?
Backside. So it's like on that same street that my car is on. Like instead of going that way through the sidewalk, I just went like that.
So you mentioned you even decided to kind of go through you decided to go through the cell phone to be able to send that to his girlfriend to prove that you're not the one, I guess, still sleeping with your ex, and then also to find what the incriminating evidence was. Did you ever find that evidence?
Yes, I did. I found it and I texted it to myself because he freaking basically told his lawyer that the only reason he's filing for full custody is my car there first. And that's the only reason he's filing for full custody, which is a bunch of baloney because I'm a good mom and a good woman.
The detective goes back to talking about what she did on the cell phone, trying to see if she committed more crimes. She admits to finding private conversations between ex-husband's lawyer and himself, and then sending those private communications to herself. She then calls herself a good woman after admitting to all of these crimes.
And so if that's the only reason, yeah, I am going to use that for evidence in court when it comes to custody. Because if he has nothing else on me and he doesn't, then he's doing it for spite. And that's not right. And I'm tired of him playing with my children's minds. I have all 3 of them in counseling because of him. My 9-year-old wants to commit suicide because dad told him his life is ruined. So yeah, there's a lot of crap that's not right. And yeah, I did need everything because he's very sneaky and manipulative.
So once you saw that, did you get angry when you saw that?
No, I knew it, and I said,
Was that a big reason why you decided to just get rid, like throw the phone?
Well, I decided to because he usually GPSes me somehow on my phone because we owned a business together. And for some reason, my name is still attached to. He's been stalking me, and he pulled out a freaking gun on me, and so that's why I decided to get rid of the phone because I'm like, great, he's gonna try to
She also
GPS
explains
me
her
again.
motive for throwing the phone away.
With his own phone. That's what you're saying?
Yeah, because of course he can GPS you.
Yeah, anything?
Well, a couple things. So you said that he gave you a spare key on October
He gave me 2.
1st and then and then September 28th.
I know that one was September.
The other detective goes back to the case again. They are trying to prove she wasn't given permission and she knew it was illegal. By asking the same question so many times, it's likely a suspect will change their story, as she has many times already.
I personally don't carry a lot of spare keys on me, for one. Why does he have so many spare keys that he can give you 2 of the spare keys?
I know that one of them was broken, like the part that you go to your, on your keychain. And I don't know, he had another one, and then he has the one on his keychain.
Okay, so with that being said, did he, he gave you keys a long time ago, but through the whole fighting and interchange of back and forth with the custody fights and everything else, did you feel like you had the ability or the right lawfully to go in his car, or did you understand that it was against the law to go in his car without permission and do what you did?
I felt that if somebody gives you a key to their home, their locker box, their car, like that, it says, welcome to my home.
So if
Like,
you're,
if you didn't want somebody there, you shouldn't have given them a key or take it back later
so
on.
if he got fired today from work, but he has all the keys for the substation, do you think that he'd be able to come back into the substation still and use those keys? It's pretty much the same situation because you guys were in good terms back then. Obviously, you're in bad terms now, and that's his property that you're going into.
I know, we go back and forth. He's nice, and then he's not nice, and then he's
But in
nice.
this particular moment, as
In
far
this
as being in
particular
court,
moment.
him saying the stuff he said in court, what made you think that you had the legal right to go in his car?
Because he told me, Nicole, your stuff's in my vehicle.
Okay,
Go
so
and
did
get
he?
it whenever you want. And he told me that last night. He told me that last night, Sunday. Yeah.
Did he say come get it from him, or did
He
he say
said, get it
yourself?
whenever you want. He said, get it whenever you want, Miss Morales.
And you have that recorded?
And that's how he calls me. Yeah. Yeah. I do have all my phone calls recorded because he pulls this crap all the time. All the time. I have recorded all of my phone calls.
When he initially gave you the key, though, it was only for the purposes if you needed to borrow it to take the kids around because your van was broken down?
Yeah.
And that was the only reason that you were supposed to have the car in the first place, is if your van wasn't working,
He
right?
said if you needed it for the kids, in which case I did need my kids' uniforms. I asked for them
But would you
all
take
week.
it back, you need it for the kids for transportation, right, when he gave you the key, because your car was not working?
At that point in September, October is the reason why. And then the
Or
second,
transportation, right, like if you needed to take the kids places.
The
since your
detective
car's not
explains
working.
how he would know it was illegal, and then asks if she knew that she was only allowed to use the car for transportation, which she then admits that she knew that.
But I mean, you know, I'm married, and if I was going through something similar to you, and I'm in the middle of a heated battle or fight with that person, there's no way that I, as a reasonable person, gonna think it's okay for me to go into that person's vehicle, regardless of whether I got a key or not,
And
because of
that's-
this circumstance. Right?
in that same sense, he stole, okay, we're gonna bring this stuff into that. He didn't even ask for a key. He went into my car and grabbed jewelry.
When was this?
This
Did you
was
report
2
it?
weeks ago. No, I did not
But
report
see,
it.
and
I
that's
documented it.
and that's the thing.
And I got my rings back too.
Okay, but just because he did something wrong to you doesn't make it right for you to do the same thing back.
I just wanted my kids' uniforms.
Did you
and
get
then-
your kids' uniforms?
No, he didn't have them in there. And he didn't have my clothes like he said either. And then that's when the phone rang and I said, well, it wasn't even his intention to be in
So all
court
this stuff's
today.
on your phone?
Yeah.
Do you have a passcode on your phone?
Yeah.
So in the potential of getting a warrant on the phone, what would be that passcode for your phone?
So now I'm a little confused because you just said something out there. This is the first time you mentioned that
This is
you
the
had
point
your
where the
clothing in his
detective says she
vehicle.
mentioned about her clothes. Remember, she did say it at the beginning. But this strategy of gaslighting and making people think that they haven't said things that they're now saying now will make them more nervous and a little more likely to talk as they try to clear up more miscommunications. They will make more mistakes.
And that it wasn't there. The restraining order against you guys was issued June of 2017.
He contacted me in August, and we've been in contact since then.
And how long have you guys been, besides the restraining order, how long have you guys been separated?
She says now they've been
About 5
separated
months.
for 5 months, but earlier said that they were separated in January.
We've been together 20 years. And
So why would he have your clothing?
because he stayed at my house.
She also
I
admits
stayed
they have
at
been
his.
in contact since August and have been violating the restraining order by staying at each other's houses and communicating with each other.
During the time frame of this restraining order?
Yes, sir.
So you guys have been with one another since
Yes.
the restraining order has been in effect?
Yes, sir.
So you guys have both, in essential, been violating your restraining order, and then still having like a relationship.
He'll need help with the children, and I told him instead of taking my kids to a bunch of hookers' houses, I will take care of my kids. I'll drop what I'm doing and take care of them. And again, I have this via text and on cell phone that he called me twice. Not last week, the week before last, and that's the last time I was in his realm. And he keeps telling me, I have your clothes, I have your boots, and then I said, well, just give them back to me.
So the clothes that he has, when did you leave those at his house? When's the last time?
I don't think I left anything, because this last time, and I think the last time I left those articles of clothing had to be like September 27th.
Okay, I don't want to misspeak, so correct me if you feel necessary. But what it sounds like to me is when things are going good with you guys, you continue having a relationship almost like you didn't break up. Would that sound correct? Despite the restraining order?
I would say like we're maybe even dating, like where we're copacetic, we're neutral to each other. Yeah, we might flirt. So yeah, I would
Sleep
say
in each other's homes and stay the night and stuff like that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then what it appears like to me, and I don't know if the Detective Jaramillo will agree with me on that, when things go bad, that's when you guys use the restraining order as leverage to get one another in trouble.
I have never used the restraining order. The last time that I had gone to this, had reported a violation is July 28th when he pulled out a gun on me. And since then, and since August when we were talking, I haven't pulled this crap. So I'm going to do it to build a case against me.
Okay. So it's like you guys have this on and off, again, relationship. You disregard that there's a restraining order in place, and then things go bad, and then you kind of both, or him, uses the restraining order as leverage against you.
To my knowledge, I don't know that if he has used the restraining order. I know that today he tried, like he's filing the violation or whatever, but initially he was the first one in August to contact me. And
So
I haven't
who
played-
initially filed the restraining order?
And that's another crappy thing too. We were advised by CIFD to both of us get a restraining order. So we both got one.
So he's a petitioner and you're a respondent, and then you're a petitioner and he's a respondent.
No, that's not what happened. He filed his, and then I filed mine, and then we both dropped ours. And then CYFD said, we're taking your kids if you don't, because he had did bodily harm to me. So they said the kids are in danger, and unless you get away, Nicole, your kids are going to go into custody.
The detective gets her to
So
admit
he
she
did.
only got the restraining order so her kids wouldn't be taken away, but they haven't been following it, and gives the name of the child care worker. Clearly the police are going to let the child care worker know what the parents have been doing. She could lose her kids for this. What is she thinking?
Who's that worker?
Jody Aarons.
Jody what?
Aarons. And so they advised us, and then we took it off, and they told us to put it on again. He never put his back on, but I did because of all the crap he was doing. And
So in this incident, you are the petitioner and he's the respondent to it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And I had to get mine fought for in court for a whole year, but then we were both doing counseling, and he sounded really remorseful in August when he called for my daughter's birthday.
Wait, so it's been over a year then?
No, it's only been 5 months since we've been separated.
But you've been trying to get the restraining order for over a year?
No, I have it for a year, because I guess they only make the restraining order for 6 months or something.
Oh, so when you went to your
Hearing,
your
I had to
hearing.
get an attorney who put it on for a year.
Okay.
But I have not anything that he's thrown my way. I've documented and dealt with because I have an attorney for the custody part.
Who's that from?
Greg Payne. And I knew that we were both talking to each other, so, that's why we're getting, I figured, well, either we're both in violation or we're not in violation because we're both doing the same thing. And things were going good for a while where we would talk, and then, of course, we'd get snappy, and then we'd talk, and then we'd get snappy. And now that he's facing criminal charges with these firearms, and he knows that I just can't let it go. He has my kids, and he's threatened 3 times with a gun. And I am going to comply with the state, and that's why he's really pissed off.
Okay.
And all this stuff is in your file and in your phone?
I have files in my car. The ones that I have today that are sitting in the other room have to do with custody. And everything else as far as the restraining order goes, violations, copies of texts, those are on my car in a teal envelope behind my seat, the driver's seat.
Anything else? We got some stuff to discuss. that kind of makes sense of everything that's going on. We also got to see if we can locate his phone outside of your vehicle. If we locate it, then we're not going to tow your car off. And we don't locate it, we are going to seal your vehicle off and get a search warrant on it, okay? So hopefully
You know, like draw you a picture or something where it's at, or?
We have to do both right now, so if we have any questions, we'll obviously ask you, okay?
Okay. It's like,
Overall, the detectives kept it cordial and we were able to get a full confession of this crime, and it seems like confessions for a few more crimes. Like and subscribe for more interrogation breakdown and true crime videos to come. Also, comment below if there's a specific case you'd like me to go over. Have a great day.